Hey, what's up guys, it is DJ. Today we're going to be taking our first look at the Hay and Forge Pack DLC for Farm Sim 22. This pack includes 17 new tools, machines, and pieces of equipment from some new brands and some existing brands that we already have in the game. For this video, we're going to take a look at each piece of equipment as if this was a new mod video, and then we're going to jump into the field and see how they work together. If you'd like to pick up the Hay and Forge Pack DLC, or maybe you want to buy the Year 2 Season Pass, you guys can check the links in the description for those, and you can pick them up for yourself. So let's jump right in. Once this is released, you'll go to Mods and DLCs, and you'll find it right here, the Hay and Forge Pack. And here we've got a couple different pieces of equipment as far as vehicles go. We have the Reform Metrac H75. We have a new RigiTrac. That's a name that you guys should probably remember from Farm Sim 19 in the Alpine DLC. We've also got the Reform Mounty, the Muli T8X, and then we got to go down and check out the Brielmaire. Very cool stuff. So let's start it off with the Reform Metrac H75. This is 75 horsepower. We got a variable transmission on here, 90 liters of fuel, 24 miles an hour, weighs 2.6 tons, and we have the AR04 wheels. Now we can change these up, which is pretty cool. So we have Midas, BKT, and that is it. In BKT, you can't change these either. So kind of what you see is what you get, but we do have some nice big old wide tires on here. Plus, we have main colors of, well, quite literally everything. So you choose what you like. The next piece is the RigiTrac SKH 60. Again, a brand that we got back at the Alpine DLC for Farm Sim 19. Very cool here. 75 horsepower. We got a variable transmission, 75 liters of fuel, 24 miles an hour, and it weighs 3.3 tons. As far as your wheel setup, we do have the standard wheels, and then we have a twin wheel setup. However, those are the only difference. Moving on, the Reform Mounty 110V. Now, the name may sound like it is an electric vehicle, but it is not. 90 horsepower on here, variable transmission, 110 liters of fuel, 24 miles an hour, it weighs 3.7 tons. We do have some more wheel options here, a Michelin, Midas, Radistan, and back in. And we've got a standard and twin wheel in Michelin. Midas is just a standard tire, and so is Radistan. They have a really cool Muli T8X, also from new brand Reform. We got 109 horsepower on here, manual transmission, 120 liters fuel, 31 miles per hour. It is a quick boy at 3.2 tons. As far as your wheel brands on here, we have, well, the most so far, Midas, Continental. Just kidding. We have Midas standard twin wheels, and then rear twins, which is kind of neat. We don't normally get something with just rear twins, at least with something like this. And then Continental, we have more of like a road tire, so if you guys are going to be on the road, well, you could go with that. Roof setup, we have a couple different designs here, depending on what you want to go with. And then we have a beacon, which is super cool. Not just a beacon, it's basically a strobe bar. And then we have front mounting 3-point, yes or no. We also get a PTO with that. And then your main color. Just like a few of the other stuff, we have multiple different color options here. And that's not all, because we also have some stuff that goes on there. We have the Reform Tipper, and we also have the PrimAlpin. This is a loading wagon. So let's start with the tipper itself. This will hold 2,400 liters of stuff. That is going to be bulk crop, as you can see down at the bottom. As far as this, we have the tipper and front guard. We have a bell trailer. We have a bell trailer with the front guard, or we just have a standard tipper and back into it. Main colors, we can make this match the truck itself, or we could go through and find any other color that we want. As for the Reform PrimAlpin, this is the loading wagon that goes on the back. We do have a silage additive tank on the very front. Main colors are going to be exactly the same. This holds 13,900 liters, and it will go 10 miles an hour in our max speed. As far as the stuff that it will hold all your standard forage crops. That includes grass, hay, straw, silage, chaff, and TMR. And the last machine that comes with this DLC is the Brielmaire 29 EFI. This is a big old mower. It is a push mower, which is super cool. 26 horsepower, automatic transmission, 10 liters of fuel, 4 miles per hour. That's going to be max speed and working speed. Weighs about half a ton by itself, and it has got a 4.2 meter working width here. Now, we have a design on here. You can change from the mower to the windrow. So if you guys want to go with the windrow, well, you can do that. And then we get into all of the equipment, which there is quite a bit of equipment. So let's just start right here with the Sepp Knusel Tornado 306 mower. 52 horsepower, 3 meters at 13 miles an hour. And as far as lighting goes, we can add some lights in the front. Next is going to be the Sepp Knusel Tornado 306 Plus. Again, another mower. 720 kilogram weight on this one. 65 horsepower, 3 meters at 13 miles per hour. Another mower, this one from a different brand, the Krone EasyCut F320 Highland. 685 kilograms, 65 horsepower, 3.2 meter working width at 13 miles an hour. Also from Krone, we have the Vendro 820 Highland. 915 kilograms, 65 horsepower, 8.2 meter working width at 9 miles an hour. Is a tanner. We also have a new windrower, the Swadro S350 Highland. 465 kilograms, 30 horsepower required, 3.5 meter working width at 9 miles an hour. And another windrow. This is the Reiter Rispiro R3 compact. 960 kilogram weight, 90 horsepower is required for this to work, 3 meters at 12 miles an hour. And more or less, two of those slapped together is going to be the Rispiro R7 RD. 160 horsepower, 7 meter working width at 12 miles an hour. And the last piece from Reiter is the Rispiro R9. You got a 9 meter working width, 12 miles an hour, 130 horsepower required for this, so it's not too bad. Will brands bring us Trelleborg, BKT, Stein, and back in again. The next to last piece of equipment coming with this DLC is the Pottinger Top 1403C. This requires 115 horsepower, 14 meter working width at 9 miles an hour, and we actually have a lot of customization options for a big windrow like this. Let's start off with the wheel brands. We have Stein, BKT. So between those two, I'm going with BKT. Spare wheel? Yes and no. So you've got those on the very back. Swathing curtain, you've got that as well, if you guys want to go with that or not. And then we have the multitask. So you can add that if you want to, just extra wheels on there. And your last piece of equipment is going to be the Pottinger Jumbo 8450 DB. This is a 47.3 thousand liter capacity of all your forage crops, 250 horsepower at 10 miles per hour. And I say of your forage crops because it is a forage trailer. Even though we can remove the pickup, it is still used as a forage trailer. Will brands bring us Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Stein, and back in again. We do have a standard and wide tire for Michelin, and that is it, as well as a Stein. That's nice to see. As far as the billboard, I'm guessing this is going to be on the very back. Oh yeah, there you go. You can take that on and off, and then cover, yes or no. This is a little bit of a different cover that I think we have seen in Farming Simulator, and I love it. So now that you have seen customization options for everything, let's jump in and take a look at everything, starting with the Reform H75. Now we've got all-wheel steering on here, which is really, really cool. And then we have front-wheel steering only, if you want to go with that. Rear wheel steering only, which is kind of cool, kind of new there. And then crab left, crab right, and back to all-wheel steering again. We can also move the front 3-point, so you can move that a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. If you guys want to do that, PTO stays in place, and that is all kind of the craziness for this. Next is our RigiTrac SKH 60. I'm gonna guess we're gonna see some similar stuff through here. Yep, that front 3-point moves about. And then we have steering options of all-wheel, front wheel, rear wheel, crab left, crab right, and back to all-wheel drive. Again, this is just another option if you guys want something a little bit smaller. Now, one of the cool things about both of these is we've got a front setup kind of that changes. And you can see as we go left to right, our cabin stays the same. However, the sides actually move around. So we always stay kind of level with ourselves. Jumping into the Reform Mounty 110V, this guy, again, all-wheel steering, front, rear, crab left, crab right, and we can move that front 3-point. So very similar setups between these three tractors. As far as everything else goes, moving around, driving around. Doesn't look like we have a cabin that will do the leveling stuff, so this appears just to be a tractor. Next is one I'm excited about, the M8X. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We can see already we have all-wheel steering on here, front, crab left, crab right, and also no rear wheel only steering. Does take a hot second to get up, but it quickly jumps. Boom, 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 jump inside. Of course, we have an incredible interior, as with all of these tractors. And then we have a couple pieces that go along with this. And since we've got all-wheel steering, it makes backing up super, super easy. Let's hook up to this, and we have tip side back, we have tip side left, right, and back into it again. So there's your tip side back. We'll just change this up to one of the sides, tip side left. So there you go. We do have a trailer hitch on here, so if you guys want to use the trailer hitch for anything, you can do that, and you'll be good to go. And as we mentioned, this is a bulk tipper, so you can put anything in there you want. It's also a belt trailer, however, there's no auto load for it. Backing up to this guy right there. There we go. The PrimAlpin, this is the loading wagon, so we can drop down and we need to unfold. So there we go there. And now we can turn on the loading wagon and it will pick up from the very back. This is a super, super cool, unique, and very, very different piece of equipment, and I'm all for it. Next, we have the Brielmaire 29 EFI. We've got a raise and lower. By default, we're actually on lowered status, so just a heads up there. Going through, let's see, we have change driving mode. Yep, that's pretty darn cool. So you could either go driving on the top of it, which looks like we're 7 miles an hour, or if we drop down, we're back to the 4. So if you want to go a little faster, definitely jump on the top and ride it, man. That is super cool. Yo, I didn't know if we'd ever see anything like this or not, but yep, there we go. And of course, as we mentioned, this is a mower. There's also a windrow version. And for all of our testing and showcasing of the equipment, we're going to be using the Mounty 110. So let's hook up first to the Tornado. We have unfold mower, which is going to bring us to right here. Very cool. We have lower. Look at that. That is very interesting. So with these, they will actually kind of hold their line a little bit. If you're going, they'll kind of stay left or stay right. It's a pretty fair movement when it comes to moving around. I probably should have chosen hills instead of some flat ground for this. But nonetheless, the mower's pretty much going to hug the ground, and it doesn't hug where the tractor is. So that's kind of cool. If we showcase the movement, of course, here you go. You can see we have left and right movement depending on where we are and what's going on. That is super cool. And we will kind of see identical movements with these pieces as well. So let's hook up to the Tornado. Of course, we have drop it down, fold, unfold, turn it on, etc. But that is it. Coming around through here. Again, this will hug the ground and it'll hold on to it, so it'll know exactly where you are. You're not gonna have to worry too much. Guess that the Krone does the same thing. Hook up and I guess we'll find out. Here we go. There it is. Unfold, drop it down. And yeah, it is holding onto the ground real good. So if you are on a really, really hilly area and one side goes one way and one side goes the other way, oh well, this is gonna stay straight on the ground. Now those are your mowers, but what do we do with it after we are done mowing? Well, we need to ted it. So let's pick up our tedder. We'll go ahead and unfold. We'll take a look at this. Very nice, great animation. Of course, Giant's always, I mean, it's top notch with the modeling, so of course there's that. And then we'll drop it down, and then we've got a nice movement here. Now, one of the cool things I like about this is it kind of follows the ground as well. So if you're going left, you're going right, something like that, you're good to go. But whenever you lift it up and you start to fold back, well, it goes right back to the way you found it. And now let's hook up to the Swadro and see what we get in here. So lifts it up, we can lower it even when it's folded and drive it around kind of like a trailer. Super cool animation right through there. Lowers that out, and we have our windrow. And again, this is going to follow along in a kind of steering setup, which is really, really cool. Just realized I had a realistic 3-point mod installed, so make sure we take that off real quick so there's nothing too wild and crazy, no bouncing around and stuff. So here we get into the really neat windrow mods. I'm super excited about these. So again, we've got movement right and left when we've got our tractor hooked up, and then we have the steering modes and everything. We have turn on windrow, we have lift windrow, and then we have working mode. So let's go into the working mode. We could change that around, but if we go in, I'm trying to figure out, we have just turn on windrow here. Okay, looks like we do have a maybe a conflict with the buttons a little bit right here. So we've got left swath turned on, but I'm not able to change the mode up. So let's see if we unhook from something that has steering. Here we go, the Fendt 700, a very, very classic tractor with no working mode changes. So toggle working mode, there we go. Left swath, right swath, and we can change mid swath without turning it on. That is kind of neat, man. So that's one for the front. And if you guys are driving around and stuff like that, and this may be super helpful for you, but if you want something just a wee bit bigger, let's go here. Oh, I'm an idiot. This goes on the front too. Well, one of the cool things about like tractors like this is we could, well, not this one specifically, but we could spin it around. So we've got a couple different setups here. So when we drop down, pick up, do your thing. Actually, you may be able to run this from the back. We will find out because we're going to get these on an Alpine map here in just a minute and test them out. So that is pretty darn cool. Now we do have a fold, which brings it in like this, which is nice. If you guys are running... Oh, I don't even know what I was going to say there. If you guys are running anything, now this one definitely runs from the back. This is a trailed piece. Boom, we'll hook up to it. Instead of 7 meters, this is 9 meters, but it's going to work exactly the same way. And I'm guessing we'll have a left, right, or center swath. Toggle worker mode, left. There we go, bring it in. Right, outside. Oh, that's kind of cool. Middle, so outside. That is a new one. So I guess it's going to pick it up, and the left will go left, and the right will go right. That's pretty darn cool. We will certainly be taking a look at that. Of course, at the end of the day, a Pottinger windrower is fairly self-explanatory, and I'm pretty sure by now you guys know how to use pieces of equipment like this. Drops down, the front comes out, back comes out a little bit, and pretty standard all around. Now we do have something a little bit different where we can bring in one side or the other. We've never seen this before. And that makes this kind of interesting. Maybe you want to go against something hard to the left. Well, you don't need this out all the way. That is so cool, it's not even funny. And lastly, we have our big old Pottinger loading wagon. You probably want to use this with something bigger than what I'm using now. It does have a horsepower requirement. I believe we're in spec with that, but still, nonetheless, I would highly recommend that you guys check something else out. We do have a hitch that is able to raise and lower and adjust. Of course, you see there we have all the way off the ground, and then we can pretty much load it to where even when you raise it, it barely moves. So that's kind of cool. We have an unload here, and then we have a movement for the very top. So you guys could do that too. Now we've made our way over to the Alpine map, and we're just gonna load up and have a little bit of fun. And I'm just gonna start with this and this. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild, just a mower and this guy. And we've got some pretty interesting hills to kind of deal with right here, so we're gonna do our best. There we go. We will turn it on and have a little bit of fun going up through here. Now, this works really well, like almost a little bit too well. You can see the mower is hugging the area, so depending on if we go over here, the mower will actually follow along with the ground, not just wherever I'm at. So if the ground goes up a little bit, well, the mower just kind of rides along. And we get a really, really good mow out of this. Plus, with the all-wheel drive, or all-wheel steering rather, this is not bad at all. And let's do it with the next one. Let's get the RigiTrac and let's hook up to this guy. We'll go ahead and unfold that, bring it around, and we will drop it down. For this one, we're going to turn on the worker, there we go, or hire the, or turn on the mower rather. But you can see here the extension that we've got for our cabin. So the tractor itself is bouncing around doing its thing, but we are actually just fine. No issues whatsoever. Boop, 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 boop. You could really see that from this end. So that is super cool. Plus with the all-wheel drive, perfectly fine. We can move around. I'm actually going to go to a rear-wheel drive only, a rear-wheel steering rather. And it works great. Little crab steer, there you go. That's awesome. Now let's test out a few of these windrows. Let's go ahead and pick up from the front, and we'll find the grass that we just mowed. This will be perfect. And let's kick it over to the right side. So, swath, oh yeah, I forgot. Can't, well, I guess we're going to the left side. There we go. Let's quit all that. We got a great animation through here with the all-wheel steering and a really nice front that helps out a lot. Well, this is actually really easy to do. And because it's such a small working width, doing this in first person, super super easy to do. Hey, you like that? That's kind of cool. And here's one that I am dying to try out. So we are going to get this. Got it. And then I'm actually going to throw the Krone on the front of this. I don't know if this is the best idea or not. Oh, got it. And I want to see, is this a good idea? Let's go, you know what, let's go this way. All right, so unfold the mower, drop it down. We are going to unfold the back, drop it down, turn on the back, turn on the front, and see if we can mow and load at the same time. Of course, this mower, because it is an Alpine version, it will kind of hug to the terrain, which is very nice. And we can drive around and have a little bit of fun. Yeah, look at that. And an all-wheel steering, wherever the front goes, the back will follow. So if you guys want an all-in-one solution, this is a pretty good one. There you go. Even a little bit missed back there, but that was at the beginning of the turn. Rest of it doing just fine. This is almost a little bit cheaty. Plus, even going uphill like that, it's still going full speed. Let's go right up here. Really difficult section, right beside the road. Super bumpy, no problems. Now, this version right here, this is gonna be cool. All right, let's change the driving direction. We'll go up here, very cool. Spin around, very cool. And we'll come down here. I'm gonna go ahead and set the cruise control on 7, there we go. And then we wanna mow. So let's turn on the mower. And that is a big swath, especially for 7 miles an hour. Look at that. The animation for this, looking pretty darn good. I mean, it's the same animation you'll see in real life, but being able to do this and have a little bit of fun mowing, I think that's awesome. When you turn a little bit, it does kind of slow slightly, so be ready for that. Otherwise, that is good. And because first person is so easy to manage, just follow that the front wheel, and you're good. Let's see. How tight of a turn can we make? Going uphill, not so much. You may have to turn around just like so, but it's doable. Now we have the next version. This is the, look at this. Right swap, left swap, left swap, right swap. Nice. Do we have changed driving direction on this too? Yes, we do. Awesome. So I want to get all of this, or at least some of it, kicked into the left. So we are going to turn it on and rock and roll, and it works perfectly fine. Look how cool that looks. Man, I love these window animations and tedding animations in Farm Sim. And again, because it is a walk behind piece of equipment, or a driving behind piece of equipment, or whatever you want to call it, we can actually go into first person and actually get the job done. That's so cool. Oh, it's so much fun. So one thing I am seeing real quick is you can't lift these pieces of equipment unless you are doing the walk behind, and then you can lift and raise, but you can only do that if you are walking behind. If we change driving direction, the front goes back down. Now let's hook up to a piece of equipment that we got in a past DLC, the Kubota. And this is one piece that I'm not quite sure, is this go in front or behind? I have no idea. Let's put it on the front for now, because it does feel like a piece of equipment that would go on the front. Oh, that is fairly lightweight. I mean, having a bit of oh boy, having a bit of an issue with it. Let's see, we'll lower it down, we'll turn it on, and it is working exactly the way I would expect. But I do want to check and see, can we tow it? Because this seems like a piece of equipment that you would pull behind, not push forward. But it does work that way, so at least that's nice. All right, so we had working mode on the left. Let's go working mode on the right. Oh, I need a front. That shouldn't have bent like that. But it shows you how well they move around. All right, let's lower this down. Lower it. Turn it on. And will it work going this way? No. So you will need to have this on the front of your tractor, not on the back. This version, however, is meant to be that way. So let's grab a hold of the 9-meter version. We will spin around, and we'll go ahead and unfold here. Oh, that's a mower. Don't hit it. There we go. And of course, we've all seen the working modes of middle, left, and right. But I want to see outside. I want to see this working mode. And it is exactly the way you would expect. Left goes left, right goes right. That is way too cool for school, and I love it. Now, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the tether yet. Let's go and hook up to it. Ba-boom, got it. And we will go and back up our Kubota, spin around, and turn it on. Hopefully we can pick up all of this. I don't know if we're gonna be able to hit all of this. We'll go ahead and lower it down as well and turn it on. As we go past, we're turning all of the grass into hay, which is a little bit more difficult to see onto the ground, but we are moving, and we're moving just fine. One neat thing, check this out. Look at that. I know tethers are notorious for missing bits, but if you don't want to miss anything, you may actually want to get this, because this is not missing a thing all the way through there, and it didn't miss any of it. We'll go and lift this up real quick so I can spin around. There we go, and drop it back down. Now that was cool. So lastly, we have a couple windrows, more classic styles that you guys are probably used to seeing. Boom, 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 boom. Love that, looks so good. With this, we don't have a working mode or anything like that. We just have everything goes to the left. So let's just drive through here and see if we can get some of this hay to go off to the left before we come through with the other one, which I'm really going to be pushing kind of to its limits. Again, you guys have seen stuff like this before, but it is really nice to have a Krone version in the game now. Last two pieces, the Pottingers. Let's hook up here, let's grab it, and let's go ahead and unfold. I'm gonna have to go a certain way so I don't hit anything through here. I've kind of got an equipment graveyard going right now. That is a big piece of equipment. Let's go and drop it down, let's go and turn it on, and let's see if it gets all of this. Since this is more Alpine styled equipment, we should be able to hit this entire area no problem, where I would not be comfortable taking any other windrow through here. But this, that worked. That was a difficult setup for a windrow. And it just looked at it and went, LOL, that's it. That is ridiculous. That is super cool, man. All right, let's raise it up real quick. Let's turn it off. I'm gonna spin it right around. And let's say we've got this area right here, and let's pretend on the right that is all mode, but on the left here we've just got one little run. Well, I'm gonna bring this in because it doesn't have to be all the way out. We'll drop everything back down. Come on. Back to. Oh, there we go. Okay, got it. So now we can kick everything off to the inside and be just fine. It does appear that if you bring in one side versus the other and you don't lower it down yet, then only the outsides will actually work within. But this seems to be working just fine. Boom. Nice. And then when we fold, everything kind of goes back to normal. And there you go. Sweet. One more piece of equipment to go. And of course, that would be our loading wagon. Let's go and hook up to it again using the Kubota Ilm 8, which seems to work just fine. Because this is a tight turning radius piece of equipment, we actually have the back, which does move around, which is nice. Let's go and fill this up with, well, nothing, I guess. Let's just pick it up. For some reason, I was thinking I had silage additive, but I didn't include that. Look at that turn right there. That's not the easiest little turn in the world to do, but this seems to be doing it just fine. Let's go to the left a little bit. So this has got a fairly good pickup as well. That is a very good pickup. Spin it back around and boom. Jump right back off where we left off. This is going to be super easy, especially going in first person. I know a lot of the time, especially with loading wagons, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to pick stuff up in first person, so you kind of have to go in third. No worries here. This should appear as hay in there as well. Yeah, so if you get more than a certain amount of one thing and start picking up other stuff, it will just pretend like it is that. I'm gonna go in first person here just to see if I miss anything. I'm gonna drive exactly the way I normally would without having to worry if anything was behind me. And did we miss any? Wow. No, we didn't. And that is kind of it. That is our first look, preview, and engagement with the upcoming Hay and Forge Pack DLC, which will be here when I'm recording this in just a few short days. So make sure you guys get subscribed if you are new, if you guys want to see more about this DLC, especially how to get it once it is here on Tuesday. Otherwise, just hope you have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you guys later.